Let me introduce Mr. Peck Figueredo, right?
That's right.
The second name is slightly complicated. So he has a vast 18 years of experience in the OTT and digital media. He is also the COO of PTPL, and he's an author of a book called Evolving Global OTT Landscape, which you can find it on Amazon. And this is not enough. He's also a jury member of Emmy Awards. So please welcome my guest speaker here.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you.
And to introduce myself, I have 20 plus years of experience in business systems technology, and I manage business systems for Warner Brothers Discovery for Asia Pacific region. I've also been fortunate and honored to be the winner of 2023 Super Achiever Award by Indian Television, and also the award for Pioneering Women in M&E 2023. Uh, as a Thank you. As a passion project, I'm a mentor and I'm leading the RISE, which is about women in broadcast sector, supporting them, their India chapter, and trying to get that live. And we have two mentees from here in the audience today. Thank you so much. All right, so before we start our discussion, I just wanted to engage our audience and ask two very simple questions to you. So, if we can have mics, please. So, my first question is if you can name a TV show which you grew up watching, please raise your hand. It's a very simple question. Okay, can we have a mic to the gentleman, please?
Hi, my name is Jojo. I'm from Goa.
Well,
Pep Figueredo met me many years ago when Ramesh Mir had organized one of those, the first global expo that we had here. Two actually that I grew up with and I'm now in a rerun. One was Friends, that was like world obvious. The other was Monk. If anyone remembers Monk, he was this guy who had a lot of issues and he was a detective.
yes.
And I actually just completed watching the whole rerun of all 8 episodes. Uh, and then the Sas Bahu series we couldn't avoid because during that time when television was popular, and anyone who's married knows that when the TV switched on, the remote goes away.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. It's
Yeah.
really nice knowing what was the thing we were watching when we were growing up. And don't I'm not going to judge your age by this show. So okay, so the next question is if somebody can name an OTT show you've been binge watching right now, or maybe a week before or recently, and on which device? So anybody who wants to raise their hand for that? So please
Hello.
tell your name and tell us what are you binge watching.
Hello. Hi, my name is Vibhav, and currently I'm watching Mad Men, and I usually watch it on the television. If not at night, I'm going to watch it on my laptop.
Laptop. Okay, great. So, the
So,
reason.
sorry, you're watching it on a smart TV, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like at times at late at night, I might watch it on my laptop. But
Okay, that's what Shivani meant by
yeah, I
which
mean
device you're
it's both, but if it's late night, then I'm going to watch it on my laptop.
watching. All right.
Great. So the reason I asked this question is to just tell you the way we have changed the consumption of our content. There was a time, and the time has passing so by. The way technology is changing, the way our customer behavior is changing, the way we are culturally also shifting our choices is happening very rapidly. And we can, within this forum, we can see how we are watching television, what we are watching, very specific shows, very specific series to know that we are able to watch it on any device, anywhere, in a comfort of our room, while we are sleeping, while we are awake, any moment of time, while we are traveling. So the entire trend and everything is taking a different shape, and it's going to grow further. We'll get into the details of what will be our future, how it's going to look like. But to just start with, the entire shift which is happening today, which is, I said, caused by technological advancements, consumer behavior, and our cultural shift, there's so much which has come in. For example, now you have reels, shorts, which people keep scrolling throughout the day. You're binge watching OTT shows. Then there are interactive shows which are coming up, that like live shows, your real TV, where you can give a poll, give your opinion while you're watching. Podcast, something which is a hot selling thing. Nobody knew about podcast few years back. It was more like a news journalism before. Now it's like anybody who's a good speaker can be a podcast person. Um, Also, the exposure of the global content. It wasn't there before that much. Now you can, the Netflix and all these players have got global content right to our mobile phones or our television. So things have changed. And Mr. Pep, I wanted to understand from you that what are the key screening formats or the technology which is used behind these contents or behind these methods of consumption?
Let's start with basics first. I will give you a very OTT or digital content perspective that we have in India right now. What I have noticed between us in India and everywhere else around the world is that internet is almost free or very cheap in India compared to the other countries. So that is a boon, and that is what content creators, broadcasters, influencers take most advantage of. To answer your question of what kind of formats or what platforms work in India, according to me or from my experience in digital in these past 17 to 18 years, is that the most popular technology platform or device that works the most is your content platform. So, for example, we must have noticed a paradigm shift or a change from a widescreen television or mobile format to a vertical format. So, from 16:9, we are going to 9:16. So, you must have noticed that one paradigm shift. So, you must have noticed kids nowadays don't take the phone and take a photo like this. They would actually go, and you would have to say, hey, listen, turn the phone around. I mean, most of us would have faced that. I can see a lot of smiling faces over here. So according to me, to sum this up, the most popular device or tech platform is what we as creators need to make content for.
It is, I feel it's both, because it is driven by what consumer want and what content creators can provide them using their creativity and tech. Yeah, and as you rightly said, mobile is like becoming that superpower. It's like a brahmastra in your hand. You can do anything with that, from shopping to watching anything. And we were discussing about that, what all can happen with this mobile, what all is going to happen in future with this mobile phone. So moving on to my next question. How audience behavior are changing content consumption trends, and what is the technical impact behind that? So everything is driven by consumer. What they want is what we produce, correct? So how is that? Do you want to talk about the change and the impact of that?
With the generational change, the audience behavior in terms of how the audiences are evolving in terms of consuming that content is also changing. So, for example, the lockdown, as an example, has definitely made our audience evolve a lot. So, what happens is there is a concept called backward integration, or where backward integration tells you at the analytics platform of a YouTube dashboard or a Sony dashboard or a Hotstar dashboard that something called as please quote me in this. There's something called as attention span that is reducing a lot. So my 1.5-year-old niece can take my sister's phone and unlock it and start YouTube and consume shorts on it today, with her attention span being as low as 3 seconds. So I literally stand behind her and I'm counting on a stop clock how soon she changes the next video, or if she is bored with it. So it's the attention span of our audience, or tolerance level of the audience is that low. So that automatically puts pressure on filmmakers, broadcasters like Sony and Hotstar, or small creators like these small studios that create content for the digital platform or for television. And that's good. That's good. That's because the quality of the content then improves. And that's heading towards a good phase or positive direction for us as an industry.
So it's like your content should be such that you need to get the customer hooked on in the first 30 seconds. If you have not done it, it's not been watched.
Absolutely. So let me just give you real life examples. If you take a series of 10 episodes on a digital platform, the first episode is so crucial and so important that you need to hook your audience in the first 5 to 10 minutes by giving them a gist of what the conflict of the entire story is about. So every storyline has an information where you tell the audience that these are my characters, this is my story plot, and this is what needs to be done. So how it needs to be done is what we take the audiences through those 9 episodes of the content piece or the series. So that's how things work.
So this is about long form content, when
That's
you
right.
have a series. But what about the short form contents where the content length or the life of the content is very, very quick and short? Because as you said, the attention span has been reducing drastically now. So, and then the content which is being created by consumers itself, that is also increasing. Plus, we have so much of global content available now. So, do you want to talk anything about what are the formats for that? How the content creation, do you have to do something differently to create such content, or make it compatible, or make it available on all the devices? What do you have to do?
See, there is one very basic rule of storytelling. That one rule is that the human emotion always remains constant. So whether it's sadness or happiness, that will always remain constant. How you portray it to your audiences is what the entire game is about. And that formula is very unique amongst all of us. So like they say in India, everybody is a filmmaker. Everybody knows how to direct a film. Everybody knows how to play cricket. Everybody knows about politics. So every one of us, actually, according to me, has that unique ability to tell a story, whether it's in a family format or whether it's in a friend format, or whether you take your phone and you feel that you need to shoot some content piece that you feel would create an impact on your WhatsApp group. Leave social media alone. Is what I feel is very individual centric. So to answer your question, there is no such a design or no such way of saying that what would work or what would not work. But yes, there is a structure. There is at the back end. We are into tech. There is an algorithm. There is a science to it.
So you spoke about storytelling. So we say there is something called branded content or branded ads. So earlier it used to be simple, like you want to sell a product and you say, for example, Boost is a secret of my energy, right? And today you don't do that. Today, if you see, the ads are not that simple. They're telling a story, and ads are like content. So, give an example of Amul Taste of India, most popular and loved ad, and always up to what's happening in the politics or anywhere in the industry. We have other ads like Dove, which is trying to trying to connect to audience by saying that common person is the beauty standard. You don't need to be a beauty pageant to be good or beautiful. So they normalize the beauty standards, and then they show their ad or their name of the ad towards the end just as a reference. They don't emphasize on selling the product. So these kind of storytelling methods within the ads, within the content short form, is really now picking up because they're connecting with the audience, they resonate with the emotion. And there are too many examples, even Asian Paints, Asian Paints have Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai, that ad itself, you start thinking about your own dream home and you start thinking about, okay, this is how, and then in the end they show their product. So what do you think that the storytelling formats are doing, and what is the direction the creators should take to create more such content?
I absolutely agree with you. The storytelling format works best, to create that stickiness value with our audiences and viewers. What also works for us in India are jingles or music. So if you notice, with Cadbury or with Hamara Bajaj, jingles and music has always worked. Catchy catch line with especially children, stating that also works, like Papa Ji petrol khatam hi nahi honda and stuff like that. Uh, I will tell you, I will explain the science behind it. Let's break it up into two factors. One is the storytelling format, and one is the brand, like Shivani mentioned. Every story has a certain TG or audience that story caters to. For example, kids' stories cater to children, and little mature stories cater to an adult set of audiences. Every story also has a proposition. Now, every brand also has a vision, a proposition, a target group that brand is, catered towards. What we as creators need to keep in mind when it comes to branded content or branded integrations is how you bring these two propositions together. Okay, so that's what creates a perfect mix for branded content.
And do you think the whole trend is going to change more towards a branded content in coming future, or it'll be more product selling oriented kind of a content?
It depends on which platform that piece or story piece or content piece is targeted towards. For example, platforms with a large viewership which allow branded content will have branded content on it. Platforms which do not allow, or like I said, mentioned the word called attention span. With very less attention span, you will notice very less ads or AWOD features on that platform. So this is how it's going to be in the future. One of our friends mentioned, he watches his content on connected TV. Connected TV will definitely have a lot of branded content as a platform.
And by creating this kind of a targeted and branded content, do you think it'll boost the sales? Because ultimately, all these is about business and it's about making money. We are in a industry of entertainment, but it all boils down to money. So, do you think this is going to open up more opportunities for sales growth?
Absolutely. In fact, India, China, and Brazil are huge markets for branded content, huge emerging markets for branded content. This concept already has evolved, but already exists in the US and European countries. And you will see India overtaking, all these countries that I've mentioned right now, and we will be the best.
I'm sure. But at the same time, I feel there's too much of content these days. It's overwhelming to me sometimes. When you pick up your phone or you pick up a device, it's really hard to even decipher what you want to watch. And that is where I wanted to bring in another question of recommendations. So, gone are the days when you're going to check with your friends, what should I watch? You'll these days go to the Google or recommendation tool within the app and decide what you want to watch or get a clue from there. So, we were also thinking that the way things are moving very soon, like 4 people sitting in their own homes, having their own, watching something on their mobile phone, will also be interacting based on the comments they have on the show. So it's like no more people are sitting together in a room, but virtually they're connected and they're talking and they're giving comments or suggestions, and all that would be getting recorded because that will be used for the recommended engine for your next recommendation. So technology is really, it's kind of taking those things which were there in my mind, which used to talk to the person next to us, to a system which is a data set now, database, which is used for people to, or the technology to tell you, okay, what is my consumer behavior? How is it changing? And that is the future trend, we believe.
Let's break this up into two factors, Shivani. The one factor is the creator factor, which I'll come to. The second factor is the viewership factor. In terms of the viewership factor, on a lighter note, if most of us must have heard Mayank out, if you want to know which film to watch, then read Mayank's articles. You will get to know which film to watch next. In terms of digital platforms, what do you want to watch? If you have logged in as a user on a certain platform and you have a profile on that platform, the algorithms or something called as a recommendation or eco band will help you, discover that kind of content that you would like to watch. So say, for example, you're watching Govinda movies like Raja Babu or Coolie Number One. Your platform, like a platform like Amazon or Netflix, will tell you you have watched this movie earlier. Would you want to watch something similar? So it will show you Coolie Number One, Raja Babu, basically Govinda movies and the no-brainers of the world. Uh, in terms, so that is the viewership of viewers' perspective. The second is the creator's perspective. I like to give you a really real life example of what we did at Sony Live. On Sony Live, there is a show called Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, which is extremely popular amongst audiences all around the world, especially with Gujarati audiences or audiences from Gujarat. So we, as the content team, wanted to offer more value to them. So we thought that what can we do to, provide more value to this audience who's watching Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. So we decided, since we were doing the first of everything at Sony, we decided to create the world's first Gujarati web series. So what happened was, the story goes like this. There is a dilapidated bungalow in Kandivali East where Gujarati family stays. Now that Gujarati family has an old mother, a father, and 3 sons. They have the first 2 sons married. The biggest problem in that family right now is how do we get the 3rd son married? And that is the whole storyline of this web series, of this Gujarati web series. The story starts with, or the series starts with, the hero comes in with a girl, okay? And it's a very tense situation in the house. And everybody is wondering, who is this girl? Who is she? The whole comedy and conflict, like I said before, of this series is that that girl is 7 years older than the boy. Now just imagine that in a traditional family's setup. Even funnier, what happens is the oldest son, his daughter, so his daughter's bestie, she is in love with the hero and she wants to marry him. The family is okay with that marriage because she has just her father has just turned millionaire and they know they will get a big dowry from there. Okay, and they've just moved into a huge Pedder Road mansion. And the hero, or the whole series, and the predicament of that series or our hero is whether he should go for the Kacho Papad or Pako Papad. That is what our series was called at the time. This was the first Gujarati series launched in 2017.
And I know that this is the Tarak Mehta Ulta Chashma was the longest running series.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So Pep has been creating content since 2006. So he's a long career in terms of creating different kind of content. And I think then you know the pulse of the audience, what kind of content will work, what kind of content will sell, and also to the complication of what kind of content will sell in what platform. It's true that today content needs to be available on all platforms, but still the choices are different. If you see, younger generation content is more available on the mobile devices than on the linear television. So it's very interesting. And with all these, trying to understand consumer behavior, trying to understand how we can build the technology to get the content to the platform quickly, and in a very good, I would say, with a good resolution and a good quality of the content. All that is definitely happening in parallel. It's rapidly changing and improving with the time. But when it comes to selling these content, because as I said, ultimately business houses needs to make money. Content needs to be sellable, and one of the big way of earning money is through ads. So if we talk about digital content, there are so many methods now. It's not one method. It's not gone are the days when we will just say that one shoe fits all. It's now so customized for every individual needs, and that is what is required today. So we have subscription-based VOD, video on demand. We have ad-based. There could be premium content. For example, if Disney is launching a program which is the first time premiere, they'll charge something extra. You can get that time to watch, or you can get that accessibility to watch it as a premium VOD. Then there are so many players who are coming up with a hybrid method where either you can take ad-based or you can take subscription-based. you don't like watching ads, you can just go with subscription. Or if you want something free, then live with the ads. Spotify is doing that. Everybody's doing that. So there's so many methods now to choose what kind of money you want to spend to watch these ads. It's no more just about the content. It's also about not about choosing the content. It's about how much you want to pay for the content, right? So in all these methods, and new methods are going to emerge as we progress. What do you think? How the ad servicing, or what we call a subscription-based ad. This is the most traditional method and most, I would say, popular method still. How do you think that companies or these organizations can make money through ad sales? So your thoughts about ad sales monetization?
Ad sales monetization can be broken down into two parts. One is at the content level, where you can have integrated ad sales, and the second part is at the platform level, where we can showcase, ad sales propositions like banners or native banners, pop-up ads, stuff like that. Again, I will go back to what I mentioned earlier. Stories have genres and target groups. So do ad or brand propositions. It is up to the platform or the teams working on those platforms, how they will integrate those to the right audience or target it to the right audience. For example, if I am sitting in Maharashtra and I'm getting ads in Telugu, that is a wrong ad targeting that is done to me. So that needs to be fixed. I guess we are at a very early stage of what we are discussing right now, and these things will get ironed out with time, and we will see much more quality in terms of ad sales and ad sales targeting.
But even today, there is a lot of flexibility I see. Like, for example, if I have a Spotify on my phone, I can choose to pay and get a premium and without ads or with ads, Especially when you're watching any Netflix or any kind of a show, I can go with a hybrid, or I can pay premium, or I can do transactional VOD as well, which is TVOD. So I know new methods are going to be devised in terms of giving more and more choices to the customers, so that they can decide what they even want to watch today, and they can discontinue tomorrow. I don't want to watch, I don't want to pay for this, and all these on a very low cost. So as you in the beginning you said that the cost in India is very low compared to other countries. So this market remains a very competitive market in terms of sales. It's a high volume, low cost kind of a market where customer is very price conscious. 199 if they get Netflix, why would they want another OTT device, OTT app in their mobile phone? And with all the integrations, now you buy a Geo, you get all the platforms coming along with that, almost all. So do you think this whole selling has become more and more difficult because we have so much of choice given to consumer in terms of what you want to watch? The content is so much. Against half of the content is crap, we know, but there is so much of content. Research engines or search engines are helping, and they're going to improve with time, like AI. They will learn from us and they'll become better. But again, it's a cost-conscious market. People are not going to pay easily until they get what they want. Like, they want more out of paying the less. So how do you think this ad sales market will manage the whole area of selling?
A little bit of research and investment in research needs to be done in this. In fact, I have done some research, on ground research, where we have figured out that if you break this market or viewership market into three parts, say tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3, the tier 1 market, that is the Netflix and Amazon market, are the ones that are ready to pay for SVOD or PVOD or TVOD in that case. That is, Shivani, you won't believe, but it's hardly 2 to 3% of it. Okay, the rest of the Indian diaspora or the Indian markets, tier 2, tier 3 markets, and I am also putting myself in their part, is I love to watch free content. I wouldn't want to pay for it. So that's where ad sales, and ad targeting really come into picture. If you are being served content that is free, you will also be served ads to watch that content. It's as good as that. and we should bring up fast, and I would like you to throw some light on fast. Slowly you will notice, even Mayank and Vicky mentioned it, but we will be moving towards a more ad based content platform or content platforms.
That's very interesting. I don't know for in our audience if you know about Fast, but it's something which is really coming up in the India market, where you don't need to pay, like you pay for the cable network or you pay for any OTT device. It's free, but you're watching ads. So that's how ads have been sold. So it's a Fast is coming out very fast in the market, and we have to see that very soon you'll have much more content available. It's like a linear content but on the digital platform, so it's like a new way of seeing content, which is a combination of both. So quite interesting actually to see how the content creators, what they think about content, the way they need to create the content which is still very attractive to our customers, consumers, and actually consumers are now dictating what kind of a content they want to watch.
Absolutely.
So with this, we wanted to open the house and ask if somebody has any questions with Mr. Pep. All right. Then I would say that thank you so much. Thank you to our organizers who gave us this opportunity. Thank you to our lovely audience who participated with us. And thank you to Mr. Pep on joining me today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I would like to thank Mr. Ramesh, who is here, Manoj, Shanawaz, Ganesh, and the entire team for having us over. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shivani, and thank you, Pap, for the interesting session. I would like to call my colleague Ruchika Chugani to give the moment of appreciation.